At least 6 people were killed after destructive magnitude 6.6 earthquake hit Tulunan, Cotabato province, and at least 170 people were injured. In incidents like this, how do authorities respond to earthquake injuries? Joining us right now, live in the studio, is Red Cross Safety Service Manager Von Ryan Ong. Good morning, Von, and welcome to New Day.
Good morning.
Now, in your experience, Von, what is the immediate response for quake injuries, or an earthquake for that matter?
Yes, usually the victim suffers head injury, laceration, wounds, possible fainting, and panic attacks. So usually we encourage also first aiders to respond and fill the gap between the responders until they arrive. So we manage the actual incident or the injuries that the victims suffer.
Okay, so aside from you mentioned, could you repeat again, what are the common injuries seen pag sa mga earthquakes?
Head injury, laceration, wounds, also fainting and panic attacks.
Okay, so at least people can be more aware, no? Since these are more common ones. Now, as we all know, we can't predict earthquakes, so it's best to always be prepared, as they say, no? But we've talked about this before. Can you discuss with us again the contents of a go bag?
Yes, a go bag or a lifeline kit. Actually, we encourage a 72 lifeline kit.
Okay.
What it includes, first is the bag itself. It should be a portable bag. Then it includes water. Usually a gallon of water per each person for drinking, washing. So it will be a sustainable because we can live up to like 5 to 7 days without food, but in 3 days without water, we can live without that. Then, of course, the essential, the foods, ready to eat and easy to open canned goods if ever.
How many days should one be prepared? Kumbaga, syempre, they can't fill up a bag that they can't carry, no? But what's a good number of days to be prepared with, like, let's say, food and water?
72 hours or 3
72
days
hours, okay.
is very essential because that's the ideal or the waiting time if ever a response going to be deployed or you've been seen by the rescuer. So you need to stay alive and with supplies for 3 days.
And ready. Now, Von, saan ba dapat nakalagay ang go bag? A lot of people put it in their car, sa trunk ng car, pero may food items doon. Baka madaling mapanis, ano? Some people put it in the room, sa house, baka hindi naman accessible.
The bag should be easily being makuha within the evacuation time. So for the expiration, it should be checked more regularly on 6 months at least. So replace the items and to prevent to secure the freshness of the food if ever na may ganun.
Okay, so ideally the go bag should be near the exit or siguro along the path of the exit
Along
ng
the path or
bahay or ng building, ano, nandun nakalagay yung go bags para immediate. You can't search for the go bag. The go bag has to be in the path of
and
of
it should
your exit.
be known by all the family members. So
Okay. Now, how is the Red Cross gearing up naman for the observance of Undas this week?
yes, for Undas operation, it's an annual event and preparation for PRC. We are deploying around 1,700 staff and volunteer all over the country, and will be seen in 147 cemetery, and I think it will be built up again. Then we have our ambulances on standby and deploy on the day itself. Actually, we're starting the operation by tomorrow, putting first aid station, ambulance standby on the terminals, bus and airports. Then it will last, I think, until November 2. So we'll make sure that all goers or visitor for the cemetery will be safe at least during the November 1.
So safe, ano, ready for first aid. And since you mentioned first aid, going back to the go bag, anong ideal na first aid kit ang laman ng go bag?
Usually for the go bag, a basic first aid kit includes yung dressing, povidone iodine, bandage, alcohol, and other stuff na we can provide for rescue or emergency response.
Okay, so at least prepared sila, no? So, for itong season ng undas, anong mga, so they have an idea, no? Anong mga common injuries or ailments ang nakikita pag mapanahon itong undas?
We usually assist persons with high blood pressure. Usually, they go to the first aid station to monitor their BPs, and some are wounds that they suffered from doing like cleaning pa for
Okay.
their puntod, and then. We usually have also like a heat exhaustion if ever
Oo.
if during that
Right.
time it's a sunny day, but
Oo.
I think because it's amihan na today to season, so baka umulan din.
Okay, so some of the more common things, injuries or ailments due to overcrowding,
Yes.
from heat exhaustion, like you said, ano. So, ano mga paalala ang dapat mabigyan ng mga tao ngayong undas? Dapat ba sila magdala ng adequate hydration? Dapat ba may sombrero silang dala?
Yes, we advise the public if ever they're going to the cemetery. First, of course, yung traveling. So
Correct.
they need to be there should be a road safety mechanism for them. So yung blow baguettes natin usually.
Okay.
Then once we're in the cemetery, syempre there's a regulation from the cemetery. Don't bring yung alcohol, yung sharp,
Right.
karaoke, or yung mga loud music. Then
Teka muna, Von. Let me go back. Can you go back? Ano yung sinabi mo? Blow baguettes.
Blow baguettes.
Can you run us by that?
yes, the
blow baguettes.
blow baguettes is the one you're going to have check with your vehicle. So blow
Okay.
baguettes is battery, lights, oil, water, brakes, blow bag, air,
Okay.
then gas, engine, tire, and self. So importante
Okay.
yung self.
Okay,
So you need
okay.
to be in condition for driving for going to the province if ever.
Oh, okay. So all of those precautions, ano. So not just aside from yourself, of course, your family, dapat yung sasakyan nila is properly
Conditioned.
tuned and conditioned and everything. So any other tips that people need to know this coming undas based on your experience on some of the common things that happens during this
Yes,
time
in
of season?
general, actually, Philippine Red Cross and the chairman, Senator Gordon, have the vision to have one first aider in every household.
Okay.
So, also we have our first aid app. So, if ever they have not been trained yet, so they can go and download first aid IFRC, and the common emergency is there. So there's a video na pwede nilang tignan so to guide them to response on common emergencies.
Okay, so I guess that was pretty good. So at least people know where to go, what app to download, what app to look at, so they can be prepared, not just for this undas season, but for any disaster just like earthquake. So thank you very much, Von Ryan Ong from the Philippine Red Cross.